Good morning all. Thank you for being here. I'm Guillermo Camino. I'm from Juarez, Mexico. Juarez is the border of El Paso, Texas. And we are working with or are involving in FCCI since 2009, I think so. And we are, right now, we are leading small groups of businessmen, one in Juarez and the other one in El Paso, Texas. We are helping to develop leadership in some countries of Latin America, like Guatemala, Colombia, also Peru, Ecuador, Puerto Rico, and I don't know, probably there's another one. But we are helping the Hispanic people to build some small groups, to develop leadership, and to teach and inspire to use the business as a platform to extend the kingdom of God. So, we have the privilege to present this first session. I don't know if I forgot something that you want to say. It's okay? Okay. In this session, I called it How to Develop Leadership to Achieve Team Spirit. I want to point out 5 essential principles to strengthen our leadership and 7 disciplines that will allow us to build team spirit. This is the session you receive the material. All the concepts are in there, so you can follow the notes. I'm gonna ask you to use the notes. You can watch a column in the right side of the sheet. You can make some notes and you can write down some ideas in there. And also you are gonna use this material to rate yourself. We're gonna explore 5 principles of leadership, and also we are gonna explore and analyze 7 disciplines that we have to practice in workplace to create team spirit. So you are gonna use this material. Let me check my presentation. I want to start with a passage from the Bible. It's in Matthew chapter 20, verses 25 to 28. I'm going to read it. Jesus is with his disciples, and he says, Jesus called them together and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Well, a kingdom leader doesn't seek his own will. We don't have to do that. We have to seek God's will for the group that we are leading. We need to understand that we do not own our own company. We don't own it. We neither own the people who work with us. So we are the stewards of what the Lord has entrusted us. Everything comes from the Lord, and also the opportunity to lead the people that is around us. So I want to reread this passage. We are going to explore some differences between the biblical leadership and the perspective of leadership in society. In this passage of Matthew, we can get some differences about the worldview of leadership and the biblical view of leadership. Let's reread again this passage. It says, I make some notes in there. Jesus called them together and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles," this is the world perspective or the perspective of society, "the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them." So there's 2 concepts here. The leadership, the perspective leadership of the society, lorded over the people and exercise authority over them. And then in the verse 26, there's a clue. Not so with you. That means we have to exercise a different kind of leadership. Not so with you. What is the perspective of the Bible about, if we are talking about leadership? Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. In other words, whoever wants to become a leader among you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first, whoever wants to be the leader, must be your slave. That's the difference when we are talking about the kingdom perspective and the world perspective. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. All of us are calling to the ministry, but not everybody is called to the leadership. Leadership, like the other ministries of the body of Christ, is based on exercise the spiritual gifts. The leadership is a spiritual gift, so we have to exercise it well. We need to pray to God, develop in us a servant heart, because if we don't have a servant heart, we are not going to develop the kingdom perspective, the kingdom leadership. We have to pray to God. He develops in us the willingness to minister others. No matter what is your rank of the company, no matter what is your position in the company. So we have to make that, we have to pray in that way. Why is important to develop leadership in our company, also in ourselves? Well, everybody have a level of incompetence, or in other words, we have a level of competence. If we want to overcome that incompetence, we have to build leadership in us, but also around us, with our people, in our company. John Maxwell says that everything collapses or everything is built according to the leadership. That's why it's important. Every organization and every work team needs a sufficient number of leaders, prepared leaders. If, when the tasks and responsibilities exceed the number of leadership, the company or the team or the organization will stumble. So that's the importance of build leadership. In other words, if we want to make changes in our society, we need to build leadership. If we want to make changes in our company, we need to build leadership. If we want to change our country, we need to build leadership. And it's not an easy thing to do it. We're going to explore 5 principles that allow us to build that kind of leadership. Not the leadership with the society perspective. We want to build the biblical or kingdom perspective. Let's examine some essential principles to develop effective leadership that allow us to build teamwork. I would like you to take your notes and review each of these 5 principles. We're going to do it together. And at each principle, you have to rate yourself. You're going to do a self-evaluation, okay? You can see in each principle, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to rate yourself. We're going to reflect. We're going to meditate in this session, okay? In each principle. You can give you a 5 if you are doing it outstandingly. You're practicing that principle outstandingly, you're going to rate 5. If you are doing it poorly, you're going to give you a 1. That will be the parameter. You can give yourself a rating between 1 or 5, okay? It's easy. Let's examine the first principle. The effective leader develops the ability to influence others through their character, skills, and knowledge. I'm going to say it again. The effective leader develops the ability to influence others through their character, skills, and knowledge. Character has to do with what we are. Skills have to do with what we do well. And knowledge has to do with what we know. Okay? We have to develop the 3 things: character, skills, and knowledge. We can only influence people who trust us. Do you agree? Well, credibility builds trust. How can we develop credibility? That's why it's important to build character, to build skills, and knowledge. Why? If we are not congruent, that's a refer of character, the people is not going to, we are not have to be credibility before them. If we don't do our job well, the people lose credibility. Also, if we do not how to do the job, the people is going to lose credibility about us. So that's because character, skills, and knowledge are so important in the role of leadership. So let's rate us. I have 2 questions here. We can rate ourselves better if we answer this question. The first question is, can others trust you? Can others trust you? Can others trust your character? Can others trust your skills? Can others trust your knowledge? In a scale from 1 to 5, what is your rate? Nobody's going to watch your notes. It's for you. So you can be confident with that. So what is your rate? From 1 to 5, can others trust you? Another good question is, are you continuously growing in your character, skills, and knowledge? Are you continuously growing in your character, skills, and knowledge? In the scale from 1 to 5, what is your rate? Let's see the second principle. The effective leader establishes a simple, specific, and easy philosophy to remember. People want to know what to expect from us, okay? Do they know our convictions are? I mean, the people that we are leading, do they know what are the convictions that we have? Do they know what are the things that are not negotiable? They know that? What things are acceptable with us? Do they know what are the things that are acceptable? What things are not acceptable? People who don't have an orderly system of conviction are in danger of adopting the beliefs of anyone. I'm going to repeat it. People that doesn't have an orderly system of conviction are in danger of adopting the beliefs of anyone. That's why we have to have a simple, specific, and easy philosophy to remember. When let's rate ourselves in this. I have a question for you. Do you have a message worth remembering? Do you have a message worth remembering? In other words, when a collaborator resigns of your company, what are their thoughts about your company? Do they have good memories? Do they have or bad memories? I don't know. Do you have in your company, in your leadership, a message worth remembering? Another question. Do you speak in a way that you leave a mark on others? In other words, the people that left your company have good memories about you and your company? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings, the feelings of the people when they left your company? That's a good question. So let's rate ourselves in this, in a scale from 1 to 5. Do you have a message worth remembering? Do you speak in a way that you leave a mark on others, a good mark on others? The third principle. The effective leader speaks louder with his actions than with his words. The effective leader speaks louder with his actions than with his words. There's a saying that, it says, your walk talks and your talk talks, but your walk talks louder than your talk talks. Thank you very much. Have you heard that? No, never? Oh, I'm going to repeat it.
Say it again.
I'm going to repeat it. Okay. Your walk talks and your talk talks, but your walk talks louder than your talk talks. Okay? Let's help me, please. We are gonna do an exercise. Please stand up, everybody. Everybody stands up. Okay, this is an easy exercise, okay? I'm gonna give you the instructions twice. We're gonna put our hands as we were holding a basketball, okay? Like this. I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3. Then I'm gonna say clap. When I say clap, we have to make an applause. Just one applause. If we do it well, in this room, we are gonna hear just one clap simultaneously. Did I say it there? Okay. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna say clap. When I say clap, you have to make an applause. Just one applause, okay? Ready? It's easy, right? 1, 2, 3. Clap.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, please sit down.
We all fell for that one.
You did it so wrong. You didn't pay attention. I repeat the instructions twice, and I ask you if you were ready, right? And you say yes. It's easy, yes. Why didn't you follow the instruction? Why?
We were watching you.
Okay, there's a principle here. People will not normally follow your instructions. They will follow your actions. That's why it's important that we have to speak louder with our actions than our words. Let's rate us in a scale from 1 to 5. Do you have a lifestyle worthy of imitation? Do you have a lifestyle worthy of imitation? Do you live intentionally that you seek to influence others with your actions, not so much with your words? Do you live intentionally that you seek to influence others with your actions, not so much with your words? In a scale from 1 to 5, what is your rate? Fourth principle of effective leadership. The effective leader rewards the activity, behavior, or attitude that he wants to encourage. It doesn't have to be an economic reward. People need to know what they are doing. What they are doing good. They are doing well. They need to know that. We have the tendency as a human beings to point out what is wrong. Is that right? Well, that is with me. I don't even need to try hard. I just find the bad things and say that thing. So we have to train ourselves to point out the good things. We have to strive and discipline ourselves to point out what they are doing well. We have to think and we have to be aware that all people have different recognition needs. We are different. I'm gonna highly recommend you a good book. It's called The 5 Languages of Appreciation. Probably you heard about it. You have to buy it. It's a very good book. It's by Dr. Paul White. This book is based on the 5 love languages by the Dr. Gary Chapman. This book talks about how we have different ways in how we demonstrate and receive appreciation. If we don't speak the same language with our collaborators, they will not understand us. So we have to discover the language that they are speaking. And we have to discover the language that we are speaking when we are talking about appreciation. So that's a good book. I don't know if you here you have it in your table, but it's a good book. So let's rate us in this principle. Are you aware of the successes and the achievements of your people? Are you aware of the successes and the achievements of your people? The other question is, are you aware of the needs of your people to be able to reward them? Are you aware of the language of appreciation that your people have? In a scale from 1 to 5, what is your rate? The last principle of effective leadership. The effective leader makes his staff think beyond their work obligations. The effective leader makes his staff think beyond their work obligations. It has often been said that the most valuable resource in organizations is human resource. Have you heard that? Well, I think this is not entirely accurate. Why? The most valuable resources that we have in our company are the talents, skills, and intelligence of the people. It's not the people, just the people. It's their talent, the skills, the gifts, the intelligence that they have. This is the most valuable resource. But if we are not harness them, we are not having the best resource in our companies. So we have to make our staff think beyond their obligations. How can we do that? Well, we have two questions, two good questions here. The first one is, what is your idea? When we have a problem in the company, we have to ask our staff, what is your idea? We have this problem, what is your idea? If you have the possibility to make this decision, what is your idea? The other question is also good. What is your opinion? What is your opinion? We want to make some changes. What is your opinion? We are planning to do this. What is your opinion? We just make that decision. What is your opinion? You don't have to change your decision or your action, but you have to hurt your people, because these questions can put your staff thinking beyond the work obligation, and it is good for the company, for you, and for the leadership. Let me stop a little bit in this passage from the Bible. It's in Isaiah 55, chapter 55, verses 8 and 9. Verses 8 and 9. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord." Verse 9. "As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." We have two more questions here. I want to stop a little bit. I'm going to give you 2 minutes just to reflect, just to meditate in your self-evaluation that you just did in the 5 principles of effective leadership. And also, I want you to meditate in those questions. What does God tell us in this passage, Isaiah 55, about how He will handle a team or a company compared to the way we will handle it? Is there a difference? Because the thoughts of the Lord are higher than ours, and the ways of the Lord are different from our ways, right? And the second question is, based on this biblical text, what will be the 3 most important challenges you will have to face in your leadership? Based on those 5 principles, what are the 3 challenges that you have to develop, to grow in your leadership? I was thinking about one statement that Richard Blackaby did yesterday. If we stop growing, someone is going to suffer. Let me add something. If we stop growing, we will stop leading. If we stop growing, we will stop leading. So let's think about it, meditate in this question. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Let's review our rates in those 5 principles, and I'm going to get with you in 2 minutes, right? I want you meditate, reflect. We have the time. We have to spend this time correctly. So please think about your leadership, about your company, and those questions. We are not going to create or build team spirit if we don't develop leadership. We have said that leadership is influence. If we don't have that influence, we cannot create a team spirit. That is the reason we start with the 5 principles of effective leadership. So we're going to move how to lead to develop team spirit. How to develop team spirit. most of the people recognize that we cannot do everything alone. Okay? So, the larger your organization is, or the wider our responsibilities are, the greater the need is for teamwork. Do you agree with me? If your company grows, you need more teamwork. If your responsibilities grow, you need more teamwork. We believe sometimes that teamwork will develop on its own, and this is a mistake. We have to be intentionally to build teamwork and to build a spirit of the team. Let me move in this. Successful working groups need a strong team spirit because together we can achieve more. It says your notes. There's a quote that I like it. It says, "For a salary, people work, but for a cause, people are willing to give their lives." So if we want to build team spirit, we have to give them a cause. If they don't have a cause, they are not going to work as a team. So this is the first thing that we have to be aware of. To create a team spirit, we require high degree of conviction of us, high degree of commitment and consistency. But also we have to master and to practice certain disciplines. We're gonna focus in 7 disciplines that we have to create team spirit. Teamwork loses its meaning if it is only perceived as a one-way street. Sometimes we do that and we are losing the teamwork. Let's analyze some practical disciplines that will help us make teamwork work on a day-to-day basis. The first discipline that we have to focus in our team is we have to clarify the why the organization exists. The why is the purpose of the organization. This is the why, the purpose. That could include the vision, the mission, the values, the objectives, the goals. We have to define this. But we have first defined for ourselves, and then we have to clarify to the team. If we are not doing this, we are going to lose the team. We're going to lose the team spirit. Let me put it in these words. Mission is what we are going to do to transcend. This is our cause. The mission is what given to us meaning to life, but also it's what gives meaning to your company. The mission is what we do. The vision is what we see. That's the difference. What we do in our company, it's part of our mission. The mission has to have some measurable results or some measurable fruits. Let me show you this passage from the Bible in the book of Matthew in the New Testament, chapter 28, verses 19 and 20. This passage is known by the Great Commission, okay? But let's analyze something that is in there. Jesus said, "Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the ages." Well, in this passage, Jesus gave us mission, gave us purpose, gave us what to do. We have to make disciples. And also, it mentioned some results. We have to teach them. We have to teach them in everything that Jesus commanded us. We have to baptizing them. So we have to clarify our mission to the people. What we want they do for us, for our company. That's part of our mission. We have to clarify that. There is a quote that it says, "Purpose is where your deepest happiness meets the needs of the world. What is your mission? What is your purpose for your company? That could be a cause for your people and can engage your people in your company. The second discipline that we have to practice, that we have to mastering is, I'm watching that you are writing the quote, so that's why I'm stopped a little bit. You can get all this presentation if you just send me an email. I can give you this presentation if you want it. Purpose is where your deepest happiness meets the needs of the world. Second discipline. We have to make sure everyone understands in what specific area the business is located. In other words, what are our products? What are our services? What is the target market? Who are our customers? What services can we offer? What services we not offer? How big do we want to be? We don't have to be the biggest one. I mean, you have to clarify that. Where are you going? You have to make sure everyone understands in what specific area the business is located, but also in what specific area the business wants to be in the future. 5 years, 10 years, 3 years. We have to add the vision in this. The vision is what we see as a place, situation, condition, or position for my life, family, work, and community. In this case, is for our company. What we see, what condition we see for our company in 5 years. The vision inspires the people. Chad just told us that is important. The vision inspires people. So we have to clarify the vision, the products, the services. So one good question is, does our vision inspire us? Does our vision inspire the people, the staff that we have? If not, we have to change it. We have to think in it and to make some changes. There's a passage from the Bible in the Old Testament, in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2, that says, "Then the Lord replied," he is talking to the prophet, and says, "Write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets, so that a herald may run with it." In other words, we have to write down the vision, our business plan, and we have to make it plain on notes on the wall, and then our staff can run with it. But we have to do it. We have to clarify the vision and where we want to go with our company, because the vision inspires the people. Third discipline that we have to master. We have to teach and train in the basic values and behaviors of the company. In other words, what are the things that we can do and what are the things that we cannot do? What are the behaviors are acceptable? Which ones are unacceptable? What is important for us as a company? What are non-negotiable issues? What behavior, this is a good one. What behavior could cause someone to be fired? Because there's a value for us. So we have to teach and train them. We don't have to assume that they gonna act like this. So we have to train them. We have to be intentional in this discipline. The values unite the team. The vision inspires the team, but the values unite the team. The mission gives us a cause. That's why it's important. It allows us, the values allow us to function as a body. When we share our values, we can walk together. So we have to be intentional in this also. There's a good passage in the New Testament in the book of John, chapter 14, verse 21st, And it says, whoever has my commands, Jesus is talking, whoever has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father. And I too will love them and show myself to them. I'm going to change some words. Who has my values and keeps them, them is the one who loves the company. Is the one who the company is going to love. Is the people that we want to keep with us because they share our values. So this is I think there's a principle here in this passage. So a good question is, do I believe, I live, and I'm passionate about our values? Because if I'm not, I'm sure your people is not passionate about your values. Do our people know our values? Do our people understand our values? Sometimes we share our faith with them. We love Jesus. Do they understand what we are talking about? I don't know. That's a question that we have to make. Do our people share our values? Let's move in the fourth discipline that we have to master. We have to identify and communicate what makes the organization unique. We have to identify and communicate what makes the organization unique. In other words, what things make us different as a company. Many companies offer the same that we do. What's different in our company? What are we better at? What do we want to distinguish ourselves from others? The other day, a person told me that he liked the job, the company that he's working. Why? I asked him why. And he answered, because it is small enough that I can talk with the owner. That's because I like my company. I can go with the owner and talk openly. So we have to think about it. Could be maybe the culture, could be maybe the product, the service that we offer, could be maybe the things that the way we do things. I don't know, but we have to identify what is unique in our company. That is kind of value for us, and the people need to know and also need to share with us. There's another quote from Ken Blanchard. It says, when ordinary people align around shared values and a common mission, they achieve extraordinary results. In the four disciplines that we just shared, we were talking about values, mission, purpose, vision. When ordinary people align around shared values and a common mission, they can achieve extraordinary results. That's why it's important to master those first disciplines. We have 3 more disciplines to share. The 5th one. We have to create and communicate a system of work meetings. This is the best way to share vision, mission, values, services, products, what we are unique. But we have to create and communicate a system of work meetings. We have to make sure everyone participates in alignment meetings. The number one problem in organizations is poor communication. This is the number one problem. Poor communication. This results in disorganization and lack of coordination in the daily activities. The meeting, a system of work meetings help us to this. We need to find different means, different ways to align the team in the priorities that we have as an organization. One of the best ways to align the group is through specific work meetings. We have to have a weekly meeting to align the people, what we want to achieve on Friday, on Saturday, in this week. We have to schedule a monthly meeting, and we have to make clear what we want to achieve in the last day of the month, in the last day of this year, in the last day of this quarter. We have to have a quarter meetings. What we want to achieve in the first quarter, in the second quarter, the third quarter. And we have to review the results. But we have to have a system of work meetings. Also, if we want to solve a problem, we have to have this, in this system, meetings just to solve some problems. Because sometimes we want to resolve everything in just one meeting. And the meeting turns boring, and right? So we have to make that system. We have to spend some time to create that system of work meetings. The next discipline, we have to verify that everyone understands what they are trying to achieve in the current period and when they want to achieve it. We have to verify that everybody understands that. We all have to have a work plan for the day. If your people is not having a work plan, they are not achieving a lot. So they have to work to discipline themselves to make a work plan. We have to have, all of us, we have to work to have a work plan for the week, for the month, for the current quarter. If we do not develop the work plan, we will slip slowly into working on the urgent only. That's the meaning of the work plan. And we will be unproductive. So we have to verify that everyone understands what they are trying to achieve. Everyone. We have to follow up those things. The meetings works with it. We can verify in those meetings what the people is achieving. The last discipline, we have to check that everyone knows who is responsible for what. We have to check that everyone knows who is responsible for what. Not only do we have to know what our responsibilities are, but also what are the responsibilities of the team. Why? If we know what are the responsibilities of each member staff, we're gonna make the time more, we're gonna optimize our time. We are gonna optimize the efforts. We are optimize also money. We spend a lot of time, a lot of efforts, a lot of money because we don't know who is doing what. So we have to check everyone knows who is responsible for what. That could save us efforts, money, but mainly we can save us time. So we're going to stop in these 7 disciplines. If you watch your notes, it also has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to rate it in those disciplines. Also, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. This time I'm going to give you 3 minutes. I want you to answer these questions. Based on the 7 disciplines that I just shared with you, how much organizational clarity do I have as a leader? How much organizational clarity do I have as a leader? But also, you have to answer, how much organizational clarity does my team have? You have to rate in a scale from 1 to 5, how much organizational clarity do I have and my team have? And also, I want you think, meditate, reflect about 1, 2, or 3 things that you can implement in the next week or in the next month. Either way, could be about the 5 effective leadership principles, or could be the 7 disciplines to create a team spirit. What are our opportunities? What are our areas of opportunities in these topics? Leadership and also the disciplines to create team spirit. Think in 1, 2, or 3 things, 3 actions that you can implement in the next week or also in the next month. Please, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to answer these questions. And also to think about 3 actions, 1, 2, 3 actions that we can implement in the next week or also in the next month. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 10. It says, if the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed. But skill will bring success. My goal in this session was not necessarily to bring new ideas. Probably many of the ideas that you heard today, you had heard it before. My goal was we could reflect, we could meditate on the things we have already heard and ask ourselves if we are carrying out these ideas or actions. We have to take some time to sharpen our axe. So that was my goal, and I want to thank you for your patience. I want to thank you for your flexibility and also for your attention. I hope the notes had been helpful for you, and thank you very much. And